Amore Pizza King, serving Rockville since 1972. Dine in, carry out, or drive up window. Come and see us. Thank you, Rockville, for 50 years of business.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, well, welcome everybody. We'll try to get through this as quickly as we can. We've got quite a bit of stuff today. Get the minutes first. Hi there. How are you?
Good.
Okay. So she had the minutes sent to us.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for the November 15th meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, okay. Give a document first to sign. No, we, do you just sign minutes?
Yeah, sorry, my line's
Sure.
someplace else.
Let's pick it up here. I mean, really. Stuff to be a good help. It's really
Good, how you been?
Busy day?
Yeah, Monday. Monday's always great.
So you at the football game Sunday?
Yeah, Saturday.
You were
Yeah.
there? Oh,
Big Ten
Saturday,
title
Big
game.
Ten, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
All right, we have payroll in the amount of $190,211.22 and $180,593.23. Do we have two payrolls to approve?
Yeah, 11:15.
Ah,
three.
I got you. Okay,
So,
I got you.
that being said, I make a motion to approve payroll for 11:15 for an amount of $190,211.22. And the one for 11:23 at $180,593.20.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Today's the 6th.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right, then we need to acknowledge receipt of the payroll claims accounts payable report, amount of $76,365.43.
And I make a motion to acknowledge the receipt of payroll claims in amount of $76,365.40.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then you can tell it's the end of the year, we're gonna
Yes.
payable claims, the amount of $519,431.16.
That's a big,
Yes, it is.
that's a big printout too.
Yes, it is, dude.
I'll make a motion, we approve accounts payable claims in the amount of $518,431.16.
Second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, it's got Hamilton Center on that whole bunch of stuff. Sure, having the parts too. while we're in the general business, paying those bills,
Yes.
let's talk about the door on the courthouse. They have one.
Was you not gonna sign that?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's too big for you.
Yeah, a little shaky there.
Didn't wanna be responsible.
We're redoing the entrance doors to the courthouse, and we're doing it one entrance at a time. The east doors have been done and been replaced, and they look great. The guy did a great job. Took it all down to Bearwood. Jeff Norman and his crew would remove the doors. Don Pruner, the custodian, used his trailer to haul them up to Delphi to save us that time. They modified his trailer enough to hold those doors in a vertical position, sideways up, and instead of laying them on flat. So he delivered them. They got them done, and then we exchanged. We'll take the next set up and we pick those up. And so the first doors are up. That also included taking the stain off that last stain that just didn't turn out well at all. Take it down to bare wood, restain it, recoat it, and then clean the hinges and all the hardware. It really looks good, and they got them back up, and they are all functioning now. So, what we didn't talk about, we talked about the price and arranged. Firstly, I had a bid for us at an X amount of dollars, but then we agreed to go time and materials on that, so he wouldn't have to be guessing, and we would know exactly what we get to. So we agreed to an $80 an hour rate, which is a really reasonable rate for a craftsman like that. So we got the first bill here. What we did not talk about was whether we were going to pay him per section. He's invoiced it per section, per entrance, and I'm fine with that. He's small business. I'm fine with paying it as we go along, as opposed to waiting until the end. So we gave him $1,000 deposit, and so the remainder on that section is $3,273. So it would be my motion that we go ahead and authorize this as not a cycle check and get this paid as soon as we can.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye. Okay. You got a copy there, Laura. You're the second copy. If you want a copy, but if we can get that out good, that'd be good.
This is right here.
You may want that till before the end of the year. See how those tax dollars work for him. I don't know. Okay. The other thing that I had, well, we'll go down to new business. Let me get one new business in before we move on, just while we've got that. The state has entered into a suit with the opioid, and I'm not sure who it is they're suing to do that. Is it pharmaceuticals they're suing? Where's that money coming from?
I don't remember exactly who was named in the lawsuit. I've seen some of the stuff on it though.
Some time ago, the county had an option to go in their own lawsuit, and we discussed that and chose not to do that because we didn't have substantial damage to cover that cost. However, the state went ahead, and we can be part of the class action suit, and I filled out the forms and sent them in, so we are now registered as part of the opioid settlement. I put my name down as the one to send it in, but I gave the courthouse information and the auditor. I designated her as being the one authorized to sign the documents when they come in. But I want to make sure that's okay with you guys that we do that.
Yes.
So my motion would be that we authorize the auditor to sign those opioid settlement documents when they come in, following consultation with me, and then I'll get with you guys, make sure we're okay with that. So she won't sign them until we give the okay, but we don't have to do it in the meeting. We can do it over email that way if that works for you guys.
Yep, and I'll second that, if that's your motion, I'll
That's my
second.
motion. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So Laura, when they come in, you can be able to DocuSign them. I sign every DocuSign instead of paper sign. Then you just notify us they're in there, and so I can get a chance to look at it, make sure we're all okay with that, and then we'll get it going. Okay. All right, that's all I have. So back to the agenda here. It's insurance renewal time, and so Branson Insurance first. I got a face we've never seen before coming up here. How many years is this now?
Oh my gosh.
I know.
It rolls around too. Good afternoon.
Hi.
I have one for, if you will pass those on down for the three commissioners and Laura, please. So I think I have great news for the
Good.
commissioners for the county this year, which is always more fun when we have good news.
Waiting for those years to drop off.
Yes. So, I've outlined here, we're using 2020 audited payroll plus a 5% factor on that for 2022 with a total estimated payroll of $4,888,483.
Okay.
The premium this year I think you'll be pleased with, and it's generated from the experience modification factor. We are below 1.00 at a 0.99. So it dropped 15 points.
Great.
Instead of getting a 14% debit, we got a 1% credit.
Great.
I've outlined the 18, 19, and 20 claims. And just like last year, I've got the number of claims there and then the amounts paid and reserved if they're still open. One thing I might mention that I didn't put on this report, out of the 16 claims in 2018, 6 were record only. In 2019, 11 were record only, opposed to, and that's included in the 21 claims. So our
10
claim
claims.
count,
Yeah.
it's a little misleading. And in 2020, 15 of the 24 were record only.
Okay.
We have stressed that we need to file incidences
Absolutely.
even if no medical attention seems to be necessary in the event it should down the road.
Right.
So I wanted to make mention of that.
Okay.
As of 12/2/21, we've had 13 claims in 2021 with a dollar value of $13,508.
Okay.
We do have some open claims there.
Okay.
So you can see the 2020 audited premium was $136,448. Our 2021 estimated premium $126,749, and for 2022 $116,402.
Great.
So we're about 10,000 under the the estimate for this year, because we don't know the payroll for 2021 exactly.
Right.
So,
Okay. Am I any questions?
oh, one other quick thing, we are still having our county safety committee
I bet. Yep.
meetings. We are doing that bi-monthly now instead of monthly. I want to thank Julie Lanzone, who kind of spearheads that committee, and Katie Potter has filled in when Julie couldn't. Want to continue to encourage the department heads to send a rep to that meeting, because I think it's getting reflected in I think it's helping in our claims situation.
Okay.
So,
Yep. Okay.
any questions?
Yep.
All right, thank you very
Good.
much.
Do you have anything for us to sign today?
No,
All
I
right.
do not.
We just need a motion then to accept the workman's comp at $116,402.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You wanna get it fast.
Thank you and happy holidays.
You
Yeah.
too. Thanks, Carla.
I'm just looking. Somebody think I talked.
Well, this over my unit.
If we run 90, okay, next up, George. Does anything change, value change after the renovations we've done in the courthouse? Did that alter anything for you?
They, yes,
Okay.
they come out, I want to say about every 3 to 4 years, and they perform a,
Assessment?
yeah,
Kind of thing, yeah.
new assessment on
Yeah.
that, and then we adjust the values on there. Each year, your policy goes up 3 to 4%, this year
Okay.
about 4%
Okay.
on the values of the buildings. So we do keep an eye out for
Okay.
that, so.
I thought it might have some impact on it. Kind of like that obnoxious property tax, you improve your place so you can pay more taxes on it.
Yeah. Thank you, George.
Thanks, sir.
I'll give you that one, then I'll muddy the waters up for you. This year, of course, I got a renewal in from Travelers. Was trying really hard to find a new company. Don't get me wrong, I think Travelers does a great job. You pay for that. And tried really hard to find a new company for you guys. Want to let you know the declines I got this year due to its 77% claims ratio, so it has come down a little bit. But still, I got declines from Zurich, Astra, Trident, and EMC. Okay.
So everybody knows what you're talking about. Insurance companies want you to buy insurance, but they get upset if you use it. And if you don't use, if you use more than like 75%, is that their magic number still 75%?
Some of my companies, it's as low as 60.
60. So if you use more than 60% of your premium, they get really stressed over that. So
There
they
you
want
go.
more money.
There you go.
So the fact that we've been using our claims because we've had stuff to pay for, nobody wants to take bids on us, they won't make enough money off of us.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it in a nutshell. So anyway, those were the companies that declined it. So, I did send those out. I do have the traveler's quote. One thing I do want to touch on is this year I cannot offer you cyber insurance because I don't know if you were copied in the email. I know I'd sent to Laura. You have to have MFA, multi-facet authentication now. I know that the last correspondence I had, it was being checked with your IT people. And what that is when you log in from an unknown device, it'll all of a sudden send you a text message to your phone. Cyber's huge losses for companies anymore.
Okay.
And so you do have to have the MFA. So anything I talk about today will not have cyber coverage.
Well, we will need to talk about that, we need to get that fixed. It's just a matter of changing the process of the sign-on, right?
It's changing the security.
Everything I am, you have to get a code sent back to you, so we need to do something like that.
Yes.
When I deal with the Department of Revenue, I have to log in and then in 5 seconds, there's 10, they'll send me a code on my phone and I have to enter that in.
And you got like
Then
a
I
minute to
can
do
get
that.
logged in with the Department
Right.
of Revenue, so it's no big deal, it's just
We just need to get it
our
done.
IT guy would have to do whatever he has to do.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, once we get that done, can we get cyber
Yes,
insurance then?
we can add it on. It wouldn't have the same renewal date.
Okay.
So if you got it done, let's say January 15th, call me on January 15th, that would be your new renewal date.
I can say we feel pretty secure because we have everything backed up in the cloud multiple times, but that still doesn't.
This goes back to the piracy of computer
Yeah.
systems. and
Somebody's
things
sitting
like
there
that.
right now trying to figure out how to do that, so, yeah, okay. Well, we'll talk to IT guys, so before we go on, just do it real quickly, is it okay with you guys if we just go ahead and get that taken
Yes,
care of?
we definitely.
Then I'd make a motion that we authorize our IT person, Randy
Cleavers.
Cleaver, to get us involved with the MFA is what it's called?
Yes.
Multifaceted
Yes.
access.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I will let him know. Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Nope, absolutely. Those are things we needed to talk
Yeah.
about. So, anyway, on the traveler's renewal this year, your expiring premium last year was $214,000, and this year
Which page are you on, dude?
I've just got it written down in my notes. I'm
Okay.
sorry, but if you go to the next to last page on what I gave you,
Okay,
the renewal premium they offered
I got you.
is at $223,154.
Gotcha. Okay.
This indicates right at a 9% increase on the county's insurance, which, to be honest, isn't horrible compared to what I have been seeing on a lot of different ones. But I told you I was going to muddy the water up, so I'm going to muddy the water up. You don't have a copy of this just because literally one of the girls handed this to me when I walked out of the office.
Okay.
I did get a quote from McGowan Governmental Underwriters, right as I literally was walking out the door. They came in at $210,208, so it's about a $13,000 a year savings. Now, the fun thing is about McGowan is I know very little about them. They've written in Ohio for a long time. They're part of Berkshire Hathaway. They are an A+ rated company. So I guess the question I'm going to ask you guys is, for a $13,000 savings, I don't know how they handle their claims. I don't know enough about them, and that's just me being upfront with you. They are brand new to Indiana.
Well, I appreciate the transparency of you letting us know that you had that offer coming in, but as far as I go, knowing how often it comes up, and almost always we need an answer now, we need to know now, and I'm able to call you and you know how travelers are going to react and what we can do. I think I would be uncomfortable trying to save that $13,000 to an unknown entity when we have no idea how they function or not function. So they may be great. Maybe next year they'll come in a little earlier and tell us what they do. We can do some research on them, see where they are.
Yes.
Or you come back with a recommendation. But since since you're not able to come back with that recommendation, and you are comfortable with Travelers, because we've been there a long time,
That's right.
and that'd be my choice to stay there instead. You always hate to miss an opportunity to save money, but boy, it
I
can sure
know.
cost you in the long run real quickly.
And that was my concern is, I don't want to take the county's money and have a bad claim. I just don't want to do it, and, but I wanted to let you know.
But you could reduce your fee by $13,000 and we'd be even, it'd be okay. Well, we won't talk about that. All right. I appreciate you, George. So you just need a motion from us to approve this, so you need, anything else we need to go into other than what the cost is?
If you're wanting to renew the Travelers, I do have some documents that we can sign and go from there, and then just let me know on the MFA. And
I will talk to Randy about that, we'll get that going.
yes, and if he needs to talk to me to get any guidance or anything like that from the cyber companies.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's probably in here someplace, but give me your number again so I can give it to him.
Yeah, you 812
Yep.
240-8179.
All right.
And that's my cell number. That way, if he needs to text me.
I will have him talk to you, see exactly what he needs to set up, we'll get that taken care of.
Absolutely.
Okay? Sorry, Dan.
No, that's all right. I was just gonna make a motion when we set the travelers insurance for 2022 as presented.
And I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I didn't look, it's probably in there. What kind of value do they put on the courthouse?
The courthouse has.
We gonna sell it?
Put it up front. See what we can get out of it.
It helped cover the medical insurance if we
Yeah.
sell the courthouse.
Yeah.
I think it's 16 million.
Well, that's okay. If you can't find that, so I was just curious what kind of ballpark. I can't even imagine what it would cost to build that thing today if you even think about that, so.
Yeah, it's
16?
16 million.
That's a good number, that's fine, that's good enough, I just
Okay.
curious where we were. All righty, well, thanks, sir,
All right.
see you next year.
Or before if you need something.
Okay, always, and you've always been there when I've called you, and what I really like about that is if you don't have the answer, you'll get it, and you don't mean you'll get it tomorrow or the next day, you get it, then you call me back, and I appreciate that. Sometimes things happen, you gotta know now.
I know it.
All righty, thank you.
And then I'll scan these and send them to you tomorrow.
Yes,
Does
I think
does that
that's,
work?
yes,
Okay.
that'd be great.
So what do we got?
This is standard form, uninsured, underinsured motorist, letting you know you want uninsured
Okay.
motorist.
Right, everything we had before,
There you go.
okay.
And then all I need is just a signature there.
Okay. Okay.
And this one, unfortunately, you have to see my handwriting, but this is on the molestation.
Yes.
Need your signature.
Okay. All right.
I guess I did have one more question for you guys. Of course, I don't have to say anything about the COVID, has like changed everything. Are you set up, Travelers does offer a lot of risk management programs for various people, probably much like what you're doing with the work comp, various things like that. Are you set up for to be able to have Zoom meetings with
Yes, we are.
department heads, things
Yes, we
like
are.
that?
Yeah.
Would you be interested, if I got some of the materials together, put it in your hands, to maybe take a look at?
Sure.
Just insurance companies, anytime you make an effort to lessen the risk, they
That's what
always
we
keep
found
that
with
as
our workers' comp, by doing
you
that.
bet. And
You bet.
and I know you've seen the lawsuits are
Yeah.
coming through, so I just didn't know if I could get some programs through Travelers.
Just
They
let
used to
us-
have people come out and put them on, but
Right.
with the COVID,
Sure.
nobody's coming anywhere. So
You just let us know.
okay, all right, perfect. Well, I sure appreciate it, gang.
Thanks. safe going home. It's a long way down to where you are. Behave yourself for it. All right, Rick Anderson with JMS Utilities.
How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. I am not an insurance agent, so that seems to be
Oh, good, I'm sick of them.
that seems to be the theme today. So yeah, I am not.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Bruce, I heard you were at the IACC last week,
I was, yeah.
and we were there. We had a booth Tuesday and Wednesday. So just want to get back with you guys. It's been, God, 6 months or something since I was here last. And I think it was kind of ironic. Laura put on JMS Utilities. I am not a utility company. Trying to get you off some of the utilities. Yeah. So anyway, but again, we've had some conversations before about, there's legislation, state of Indiana allows you guys to go out and do these guaranteed energy savings projects. We've done it's been, over a year, but we've done a utility analysis and also a building walkthrough, came up with some recommendations that we had presented to you before. I've given you a couple things. First of all, was that one pager that we did that had all the recommendations. Also, an RFQ that would be the next step if you guys were going to look at doing these things on a more permanent basis. I did circle on your front page there, I did make a circle around the chiller replacement, boiler replacement. It was interesting you were talking about the courthouse and valuation and everything else. Those were some items that really need to get done. You did a project similar to this about 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
These projects have about a 20-year-ish lifespan. One of your meetings, I heard you say, we love Irish Mechanical, they're here all the time. That's what we're trying to help you alleviate,
Right.
is not that you can't still use them, but they're here a heck of a lot less.
Well, the chiller is something that Don and I have had conversations about. We're having trouble now. We've had companies that come in. There's a leak somewhere. Of course, it's the old Freon system. It's not the new stuff.
Yep.
So they have been, two companies now, been all over that thing trying to find where we're losing that Freon. They cannot find that. And of course, their recommendation is to replace it. But it is at the end of its life cycle. It was done in 2000, I think. Yeah, 2000. I think it was in 2002, I guess, before I was commissioner. So that year that I ran, I think. And so we are looking at 22 years now. We're looking at the end of it. So we do need to look at this. Now we have a man that we hired to do those kind of evaluations for us, the jail and other things, to do the fire enunciators, the motor, for example, at the courthouse on the elevator, though we may never change that, but some things that had not been done and need to be done.
Yep.
What would your role be? How would that cost? How would we, if we need someone, and we will, to do the RFPs for us and give us the quotes and do all these things before we go with this, what would your role be in that, and how would that work?
Yeah, so my role would be, I'd act as a general contractor on this whole thing. So
Okay.
we'd come up with what you guys would do is, you guys know you got some issues, some infrastructure issues that you'd like to take care of. We'd act as a general contractor. So there are certain things that we do in-house, but there are certain things other that we don't. So let's say you've got 3 or 4 or 5 items that need HVAC, lighting, if solar is going to be in the whole mix, whatever else. But we would act as a general contractor to help you take care of these things. The legislation allows you to go out to 20 years to pay for these items. And again, it's a budget neutral or better situation. So what I'm trying to do is come up with a project for you that pays for itself, makes itself whole each year.
Yeah.
Okay?
And I saw the number was 9.8 years to pay, simple payback.
Yeah, just on the recommendations that we made, but let's say that you wanted to add chiller, boiler, whatever else over there, it would allow you to pay for those items out over 15 to 20 years and not have to come up with the hundreds of thousands of dollars, Now, the governmental money that came through last year does allow you to do some HVAC as part of that, not solar or lighting or anything, but HVAC potentially might be able to be included in that. So if we came up with a project, you might be able to make a down payment with some of that money on the HVAC portion of it, and then that would leave you with whatever's left over. Right now, they're loaning money on these things, so most municipalities will go out and get a third-party lease loan they're loaning money right now at 2% or even less.
Right,
They're about giving it away.
right.
So when you can get a, potential 15, 20-year note at, let's just say 2%, take your money that you were gonna go spend on some of this stuff and go spend it on some things that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
We've done probably 50 or so of these projects in the state of Indiana. I think last time I was here, so I use the airport. I use the greater Indianapolis airport as a kind of a beacon. So the solar, we're also taking care of their central heating and cooling plant there. We're saving them $1 million to $2 million a year on their energy and operational costs. That's a big example, but I mean, it doesn't matter how big the size of the projects are. This would be maybe a micro example of something that we've done.
And how do you get paid by that? Is that by hourly rate, or is that by?
How do we get paid?
Percent of the project? How does
Yeah,
your
so
fee-
again, if you went out and borrowed, I'll just use $1 million as an example. If you went out and borrowed $1 million, you'd borrow that from Old National. There's a bunch of companies that do this stuff. We would get progress payments on the completion of the project. So these things typically take about 9 months to a year for fruition. We get progress payments as part of that, and then our
Is it
part
based on a percentage of the project?
our part of it's done. Well, yeah, we make a certain profit margin based upon yes, and then past that, all the savings that get generated are Parke County's.
Sure.
There's no shared savings
Oh,
or
yeah,
that kind of stuff.
That's why
Yep.
we did. We are in a situation now where we're sharing the savings, and so far, I think it's working well at the jail. You're okay with the
Yeah, I
lights out
haven't
there?
heard
Yeah.
anything out of it.
So we've done both.
Yeah.
I've been here a long time. This is the only one I've seen, because we've had a lot of proposals to us that if we do this, we'll save this much money over time. And those have never panned out that I've ever seen. This one is, I think, at the moment, anyway. It's the way it's set up, so we're okay. I would be interested in seeing what you might have to offer, because the chiller's gonna have to be done at some point. But I can't, I mean, these guys may, I imagine the same boat I am. I just hire someone to do that unless I see who else can do that, until I see what's gonna cost and what your fees would be, what part of your fees would be on that. And I'm not really interested in entering into a shared savings thing on the whole thing, because I've just never seen those savings materialize, because costs go up or repairs.
Well, this is not shared
Oh, I
savings.
understand, I
Yeah,
understand.
and the state statute says that it's a guaranteed situation where if I say I'm going to save you $1 and I save you 90 cents, I have to write you a check.
Okay.
And we have to verify that each year. There's an auditing procedure that the state requires that we
Okay.
do each year. We would get your utility information each year, audit it, and then give you the savings projections back.
Do you want to go and speak with the custodian, let him show your folks, or you, whoever does
Yeah.
these stuff, what we're actually talking about? Because it's carrier, and I think we're looking at $160,000 or so to replace the chiller. And just come back with a specific proposal to us, or what you
Well,
want.
again, I'm not a mechanical contractor, so
I understand,
yeah, we don't. That's not what we're trying to do here. What we're trying to do is maybe address some additional items that
Okay.
you have, but that being a big part of it.
Okay.
So again, if you're looking at the other thing too is, and we had some conversations before about the solar. Any place that we can, so the average utility rate increase in the state of Indiana over the past 15 years has been 5%. That's going to get a lot worse because Indiana is still regulated. Every state around us is deregulated, but you're stuck with the utility company, and that's just going to keep going up and up and up. Indiana's top 5 in coal plants in the country. When they shut down a coal plant, guess who pays for it? You guys do. We do at home. So I'm just saying that's going to keep getting worse. And any place that I can potentially put solar in, I'm locking in your rates for 25 to 30 years. So if you just start doing the math, we're really trying to cut a lot of your costs. So, but again, I'd be happy to give you an idea. You already sounds like you got an idea what the thing's going to cost.
Well, it's just an idea from one company.
Absolutely.
We haven't hired the guy we have doing the other projects do this one. It's per project arrangement that we have with them. So I am just curious. I don't really have a dog in the hunt as to who does it, general contracting on it. I just want to make sure we get the best product we can for the best cost. I want someone who's going to be there on a regular basis, make sure it is being done, and no more often than we go down these things every 20 years, you don't know who you're talking to and what you're getting. So that's
Right.
always a concern for
The
me.
whole idea with replacing that is you don't have this guy with the meter running here constantly,
Yeah.
which is
Right.
which is the situation you're in right now.
Right. Okay. Well, you guys have any questions or
No,
anything? Well, we have nothing to offer you today, but let us just think on that.
And I'm happy to get you a couple reference. So I could sit here all day and
And
tell you
that'd
how
be
great we are, but if I
Sure.
gave you a couple reference points of some folks to talk to who have gone through this
and that'd be
process,
great. I always do follow up on those, so if you can give us a couple of those.
That might be
great.
beneficial
I will always
to you.
call them and talk to them, yeah.
exactly.
Because I don't know, so I need to find
Okay.
out who does.
Perfect.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Good information. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a good Christmas.
You do.
Thank you.
Cindy Todd and Bloomingdale Home Telephone
Yeah,
Company.
this is really about Rhonda, not me, but as we did in November, we talked about the Indiana Next Level Connections
Right.
grant. And so Rhonda is here to talk about, what Bloomingdale Home Telephone's been looking at as a project.
How are you, Rhonda?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good.
I just gave a little history. I'm not much of a salesman, just to kind of tell you a little bit about our company and what we've accomplished and what we're looking forward to.
I remember, how sad is that? I remember when you switched over to dial service and when
Fun
Vera was
facts.
no longer the operator. Yeah, I remember that.
Little fun facts.
Yeah. I remember calling Vera, cranking my little crank. I couldn't find Mom. I don't know how old I would have been, 9, I guess, at that time, 8. And I didn't know where Mom was. And Vera said, "Well, I think I heard her talking to somebody over wherever she was." So we found her okay.
So I say, I bet she knew where she was.
She
at.
knew where everybody was. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's funny. Strange times. Okay, so tell us what you got.
So we applied for 43 locations. We will go past approximately 76 for a total of 119 locations. Most of them are right there in the Bloomingdale area.
I was gonna ask,
Yeah.
is that where you're kinda,
Yeah, that's where we're kind of focusing on. There are a handful in Coloma. I think there was one in Rockville,
Okay.
but most of them will be in the Bloomingdale area.
Okay. And how were your? I was kind of concerned. I think we all were with the hookup fees that Joint was talking about. I mean, I know it's got to be done, but how would your how do you plan your hookup fees? Did you go by somebody?
Did you? I do have that noted at the bottom.
Oh, I did not read that far down.
Yeah,
I just read the history part.
we usually go 600 feet off of the road,
Okay,
and we just pretty much are looking for, I'll say, a little gas money, a
gotcha,
little maintenance money.
gotcha. They were anything over 100 feet
yes.
off the road, and it was like
yeah.
$300, $250, something like that. I think, or so much a foot. It's quite a difference. So what do you need from us?
Well, I understand that you have some money that you're looking to possibly divide between the companies. If that is given, it would help us hire someone to get this job or project going a little faster, bury the drops and that type of thing. So I'm just
We
here
are willing
to,
to allocate that money and use that money for that. We're actually excited about the opportunity, but how do we do that? Do we just assign it per a hookup, or how do we do that so it's shared equally? We don't want to give it more here than the company would use, and then give it some to you, but you needed more because you had more expense than you thought. So how do we do that?
that's a very good question. And I know that it has to be fairly divided between all companies involved.
We can't do it per address or per picked up address, or can we do it that way?
I think you can. I mean, I think that you can do it per address that you're passing and
Okay.
per address that you've applied for.
So we could see whatever numbers are that are available, and that was like 1,100 or 1,300, something like that altogether. Maybe we could allocate whatever that money is. We allocate, divide it per one, and then whoever does that, they get the money for that one. Does that make sense?
That makes sense to me, yes.
Okay.
that's kind of what we discussed, I think.
Right. that was-
Cindy, you think we could do that?
15.
That's what we've already decided.
Yeah.
I mean,
Already
within the
decided.
committee discussion.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, but I thought there was a problem with that.
Well, I mean, that's the only way for us to divide it equally.
That's what that's how we
But
want
on
to
the
do it, yeah.
provider side, they could say, okay, I'm getting a lump sum of money because of the number of dresses. Now, how
Right.
they utilize that is
Right.
up to them.
Right.
So,
That's kind of what they
since
were
they're getting
saying.
grant funding to pay for the eligible ones, then maybe they take that money and allocate more of it towards their passing people.
That was a discussion we had with them when they were here. They kind of wanted a lump for show what their match was going to be. I was uncomfortable. I think we all were doing a lump, but we weren't guaranteed how many challenge addresses you were going to do. And if we gave them the money and then you ended up doing them, then you wouldn't get the money. How do we do that? But if we can allocate that per unit, I'm
That was our
thrilled with that.
intention. I
Yes,
Yeah.
until we were told we couldn't. Yeah.
And again, that's our philosophy of how we
Okay.
can do equally, but when you start looking at the grant, that language doesn't apply to
That's
the
what I
grant
thought.
world and doesn't apply maybe on the installation side. But I think that's where we are in the middle. Because in the grant, there is a minimum match requirement, and then the higher that is, the more competitive your application is.
Right.
So that money that we're allocating per location is being used to help that match
Yes.
for the provider. So,
Right.
Rhonda, I don't know if, and I did look at your paper, but, I mean, they have to put capital in, there's match money coming in.
Right.
And the closer we get that match to 35% of the project cost, the more competitive it is.
I think after talking to you, it brought our match up to like 45%.
Well, that's great.
So,
Well, I think we're thrilled to have the opportunity to do this. We just want to make sure we do it equitably, fairly, and the smartest way we can. I mean, we have so many more needs than we have money to do. We certainly want to spend it on this project, but we don't want to give more someplace we didn't need to give that much, and then leave someone else short because they didn't get enough. So, if we can figure out, or this group can figure out how to do that. So, what do you need from us today? A commitment to support your grant request, or?
that would be nice, because I will need that when I send in the grant in January. I will need a paper that states.
What, the 15th, 14th?
14.
14th?
Yes. So how do we? You know how we say that? Then you know how we
Yeah,
write
so
that up?
we have the resolution drafted,
Okay.
Nick's drafted the MOU, which is the installation
Okay.
side. We'll talk about it on the 14th, and the 14th is the day after, the challenge process will be completed by that time,
Right.
that's December 8th.
Right.
And then
So then
have-
we'll really know if Rhonda still has 43 eligible locations to
Okay.
work with.
'cause
But
we
at
have-
that date, we'll know how many eligible
That-
locations there were.
That's why we made it after the meeting after
Yes.
that day.
Yeah, so we'll meet 14th, we'll know how many eligible,
And before the next commission meeting, so we
And
can
and then the
weeks.
commissioners meeting on the
2 weeks
20th,
from today, we can approve the resolution, and then the council can approve theirs.
on the 28th.
In the meantime, you need a letter from us saying that we will support, or just wait till
No.
we get that figured out?
Just wait till you get it figured out.
We'll just know from us that we absolutely will support that, whatever that takes to get that done. That's one of been our biggest shortcomings in the county, has been the internet access. So I'm just thrilled you guys are even looking at this. Now we have an opportunity to actually really help with that, so
Well,
you can count on us to do what we can.
we appreciate it. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks, Roger.
Thanks.
All right, now we have a couple of appointments to make here. Oh, I did want to bring that up before we move on. Let's just go back just for a second and talk about that chiller. I met with Don again, and we are having the trouble with the chiller again, but it is 22 years old now. It's at the end of its life. It's still using the old Freon. If we get repairs come in, we have them come in, typically they're in that $1,500 to $2,500 range just to come in to make repairs. So we're gonna need to look at that. The wait time though, the lead time to get that accomplished. Let me pull this up here, make sure I'm telling you right. I'm thinking that the engineers that Don talked to was maybe a 20 to 22 week lead time. And we certainly don't want this thing going down in the middle of summertime and having to be without anything. So let me get some guidance from you guys. Yeah.
It's gonna be the end of April, 1st of May.
All right. Oh, he sent me an email. Let me pull the email up.
keep looking. It comes in under custodian. Let's scroll from here. It is this under custodian. Okay. Says lead time is 20 to 22 weeks right now to get anything going. There is a 6 to 10% increase hitting on January 1st, of course. You got to decide today, kind of thing. But we can't do that, of course. But that's what he's talking about. The lead time is 22 weeks. So if we're going to get that done before summer hits, we're going to have to make a decision pretty quickly. So you want John to get some firm proposals from Irish Mechanical. They're looking at doing a carrier unit. How do you want to go about it?
Is there more than one outfit we can get some
Probably.
estimates from? I just soon have
We could hire
multiple
Matt
estimates.
Steckley to do that. There'll be a fee to that.
Matt
Matt can
do
do
that.
it. And we'd have to pay for the fee. I can see why Matt would charge to come plan that for us when we do that.
I don't like just one estimate.
No, me either.
Oh, no, that's why, you want to bid and drive.
But it'd be a few
What
thousand.
they're trying to do is they're trying to get us involved with Guaranteed Energy
Yeah.
contract, which isn't a savings sharing. We're not sharing. It's just they're guaranteeing that we'll save X number of dollars if we go with.
If we could
But-
do all this, but we
But
can't.
they end up being the as
Right.
I said, kind of the lead, and they go out and get
Yeah.
Yeah.
the bid and whatever.
Right.
But if they want to, I'm supposed to win a bid in
That's what I was
comparison to
asking if you
Irish
would.
or whatever,
Yeah.
that's fine. I don't have any problem with that, but yeah, we need to get as many bids as possible.
You want me to ask Matt what it would cost to have him do that?
Well, we signed with him
For
that
the
he was
other
gonna
things.
do the fire.
Fire investigators,
investigators and
the elevator,
Yeah.
the out to jail, the
He indicated
HVAC
to
out
us,
there.
he'd go out and get all the bids.
There's a fee for that though. It's probably going to cost
Sure,
$2,000 or
Sure.
$3,000, maybe $4,000 to do that.
I don't know.
I guess get a price off of it and see what it charges.
I don't know if Don would rather go out
And yeah, you may run it by
set up
Tom.
his own specs.
I don't
and
think
go
he
out
would. I think he's relying on Irish to give him that's who he's talking to here, to give him that, so we can use that one we have. If we want, let me see what Matt would cost to do that, and I'll get back with you and see what it would
Okay.
cost. And then you hate to spend money you don't have to, but at the same time, we don't do that, so we need somebody who knows what they're talking about and getting it done.
Yeah.
Like I don't like dealing with lawyers, but sometimes you have to, it's just because of what's going on and stuff. So happens.
Well, if you save 30 or 40 grand by
That's right.
spending 2 or 3 grand,
That's right. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
millions of dollars by hiring an attorney.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, I'll call Matt tomorrow, then I'll see what he would charge to come and get a proposal together for us. He'll come look, see what we got, and then go from there. That's all right?
Yep, but like I say, I definitely would like to see more.
Okay. All right, I will do that. All right, so we have some appointments now to make today. Anything that has a December 31st, 2021 date on it would have to be reappointed. All those on the front page are pretty much, so we will need to reappoint Penny Cox and Phil Cox if that's of interest to you. Once you get past the courthouse custodian, the rest of those are appointable. So Cindy Todd is currently our community action program rep. You willing to do that? Continue with that? And I have not heard from Penny Cox or Phil Cox that they are not willing to continue. So if you're okay with those, then continue with those.
Yep.
Hopefully we do these all at one time. Randy is our disabilities coordinator. I'm a West Central rep. And Dan is our solid waste. Do we want to continue with George as proxy, or you want to do
If he
it?
has no problem with it, like I say, I'll be gone all winter. It's,
Okay, we can appoint.
the whole issue is Wednesday morning at 9:00.
Okay, We can,
is when they have their meetings.
we'll just continue that, if that works for you, Bruce, we'll just continue that unless he says no. And the trails reps are us and Chris, so we can leave. Redevelopment Commission, those, should ask Rhonda if she was here, but she had not said she didn't wanna do that.
I'm sure she would say no.
Scott and Bruce. Innkeepers Tax Commission, those are all,
There's no 21.
yeah, they're all there, okay? And,
Okay, on the planning commission, you've got a 21 there that
Rick Thompson,
has not been to a meeting since
We-
18.
do you have someone replacing him?
I don't.
We can just make it, we won't reappoint him, then we will just
Let's
leave that vacant.
give us time to find something.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay. Zoning appeals, I don't see any 21s there. Mike McKinney, I know will continue with the athletic beverage board. Steve Lane is very active with the judge now on the defender board, so I'm assuming he will continue to do that. We do have a request from Katie.
Yes.
And that was Kim Shorter and Derek Davies, was that his name?
But she's only got 2. And there's 3 of them. But who
Yeah, one of them is not.
who would be staying on and there's a lot in there. But she's only
There
got
it is.
Kim and Derek.
Well, let me call her real quick, see if she's in, before she can answer the phone.
Maybe she doesn't have a third one at this point in time. Surprise, you answered
Yeah.
the phone. You're in front of the public.
Hi Katie, Jim B. Say careful now, you're on speakerphone, the commission meeting. We don't want to catch you saying something bad about, somebody. So, hey, we got your request here for Kim Shorter and Derek Davis, but you have 3 on that board. Was one of those 3 going to stay?
You guys have 2, and I think, or is it, I thought that was for the council for Derek, and did I mistype those?
I don't know. On our sheet that we have, they're all commissioner appointments. Dave Kemper,
Okay.
Jim St. Clair, and Lori Brown. Which two were you replacing?
Well, I wrote a new one, because Lori Brown is not on there, and Kemper's not on there anymore
Okay.
either.
All right, so you're looking to replace those 2?
Well, I already replaced them, and you guys had already approved it. Just, I figured you'd do that for January. I thought she was going to put it on the agenda for January, but I will double check that if you don't mind tabling that.
No, that's fine.
Do the new stuff for January.
Yeah, normally, we usually try to do them the last meeting in December so they can start in January. So we can do that. If you just tell us, we have on our list of our appointments Dave Kemper, Jim St. Clair, and Lori Brown. That's who we have on the list, and you have us.
No, Jim St. Clair took Lori Brown's spot.
Ah, okay.
And Dave Kemper, I can't remember who the 3 were for you. One was Mike Strack.
Okay.
One was Derek Davis, and the other's Jim St. Clair, I believe, for the 3 for you.
Okay.
Okay, so those
And
is
then
not,
Kim Shorter and
Katie, you're right. I'm looking at her now. The letter that I have is written to the county council, but it says I would like to make the following recommendations for the commissioner appointments. So it's got both on your letter. It's got the council as the letterhead up on the letterhead.
well, then I didn't proofread very well.
No,
and I apologize.
no, you didn't. You fix that and get back to us, okay?
I certainly will.
Alrighty, thanks, ma'am.
Thank you.
See ya. I just saw the council at the top there, so.
Yeah, I just saw it, but it says in the head.
And it says commission down there,
Commissioner
yeah.
down here, so.
Yeah, okay, we take care of that then later.
Yeah, we'll just do that next meeting.
Alright. Parke County Health Health Board, we have two.
County veterinary, Joe Sue, you skipped that.
Yeah.
So 2021, I assume he'll
That's why I skipped, I assume you would too, yeah. So the attorney is, I'm assuming will stay, we will, got Patty McLean and Mary Pierce. Mary Pierce is on the board, or is she just the attorney for the board?
Attorney for the board.
Okay.
She's not on the board?
No.
Why would we?
So we need to replace her with an attorney then.
Why is she not doing it going forward?
She's up to,
It's a non-paid
her term is up.
position, I think.
Yeah.
I think she was just volunteering for him, but I could be wrong.
But she's not a member of the board then?
No, she does not get to vote.
Oh, so that's wasn't what was indicated to me, that I thought she was part of the board.
She should not be allowed to vote if she's the attorney.
I think she's president of the board.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she is.
Yeah,
I was
sure
told
she is
that.
too.
Really?
Yeah.
So how's she the attorney for the board and the president of the board?
That's a good question.
Can we put this off till we find out?
Yeah, yeah.
We need to find out.
Right, because that would conflict her in being able to give legal advice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, let's table that one
Okay.
so we do get
Let me
that.
give you a name of someone that's asked, is willing to do it, and that would be Stephanie Laws. Stephanie Laws is the one of the directors down at Union Hospital at Clinton.
She works in Union.
Yep. So,
But if she is the attorney, that wouldn't work either.
yeah,
If that's what it's
but we
for.
can still have her be the attorney,
Yes,
but not on the board.
so we need to find out that before we make that decision. But
Yes.
we still have two there that need replaced. If she is serving both.
We have Patty
Position.
McLean and Mary Pierce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, we could replace Patty with her unless she wants to do it, or you're telling me she.
I did not ask Patty, and I just saw her out at Swains the other day. So we better hold that off too, better find out if Patty wants to continue or not.
Let's check those two and find out for sure what Mary is actually doing, find out if she's playing two roles or if she actually is just the attorney.
Didn't you say a few weeks ago that you had a doctor that was
Yes,
interested in being the health officer?
Ingrid was interested in being health officer. Yeah.
Dr. Swain?
Mhm.
But he's got another year.
Yeah.
But that'd be something to think about
Yeah,
for
he-
next year, but,
It's gonna be 86
yeah, I know
next month.
he's up there.
And Bruce is saying he's got another year.
Yes, until
Well,
2022.
according to this chart,
Yeah,
he's got another
2022.
year to.
Okay, well, let's find out if
Okay, let's table
Mary's a
those.
member of the board
Or
or
the
just the
attorney.
attorney. Okay.
Is that what you're doing, Nick?
I was just looking at whether she can be or not, but I can't understand how she possibly could function in both roles. I mean, you'd have a conflict created then.
Okay.
I don't know that Lydia would know. Let me ask Lydia, the president of the board, if she would know. Sorry to take up your time answering doing these things, but we need to get
Well,
these
she
done.
was probably in a town meeting.
Nah.
It's just not started.
Yeah,
It's
she's getting
on.
ready to start here in a second.
The clock just went off, that's why.
Oh, Lydia, you're right. Let me see if I can get her real quick before she starts the meeting. Maybe she can, maybe she can't.
She may not answer the phone because
Yeah.
she's getting ready to.
Hey, Lydia, have you started your meeting yet?
Just getting ready.
I don't bother. I had a question for you. We're looking at the appointments here on the health board, and
Okay.
Mary's listed as an attorney. Is she attorney or is she a member of the board?
Well, she's the attorney for the board, but she's on the board.
She
Is
is.
she the president?
All right. Can you tell me? I got a list here. Can you tell me if these people are or are not on the board? Sharon Montgomery, is she on?
Yes,
Patty Hobson,
yes,
Dale Cooper,
yes,
Amy McAllister,
yes,
Patty McLean,
yes,
Mary Jo Hartwriter,
yes,
and then Mary Pierce.
correct,
All right. So Mary Pierce is a member, but she's also doing the attorney work. Is that what we're saying?
yes.
Gotcha. Okay. That's what we need to know. All right. Thank you.
Okay, all right, bye.
So she is a member of the board. She just does the attorney work.
I was told that.
Huh.
So, I think we were looking to put Stephanie Laws at her place on that board as a board member, and she still wants to do volunteer work for the attorney. She can.
Yes, because I don't think she should be,
Okay. Is that your motion then
yes.
to appoint Stephanie Laws to continue and the term
To
finish.
replace her to be on the board in Mary's
Yes.
place, but then Mary is
Can still
continue
be
being
attorney.
the attorney, but I
Okay.
don't think she should.
Okay.
Or the help
Be a
board
voting
hire their own
member.
attorney
Yes.
at that point.
Yeah, they have the capacity. They can hire their own attorney if they
Right.
want to,
Right.
but otherwise it defaults to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your motion is to have Stephanie Laws fill that seat now occupied by Mary Pierce.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the only other thing we'll need to check is if Patty McLean,
Just need to confirm that Patty wants to stay.
I have not heard she didn't want to, so and I was just there, so I believe she does want to continue. I think she's at most of the meetings, I think. I was getting a list of who was, but the list I got was pretty incomplete. The girl they had in the office before didn't keep good records of who was or who wasn't, so we can make those changes if we need to, but we can
So
go ahead
do
and.
you wanna change your motion to Stephanie and Patty?
Why don't we leave Patty until I find out
Okay.
if she wants to or
All right,
not,
that's fine.
and if she attends.
okay.
That's fine, then just leave.
Well,
So you'll leave the motion
yeah.
with Mary and
I'll leave
Stephanie?
the motion as I made it.
Okay.
With Stephanie.
You gonna
Okay,
second
I'll
that?
second that.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And that'll give Jim time to touch base with Patty.
Yeah, I'll go back out and ask. I should ask her that. They didn't think about it. But now the rest of them are just kind of things we don't have a choice on. Those are just things that we're on. All right, then is there a motion to approve the appointments as presented?
The library.
Oh, library, that's right. I have the paper here for that too.
We gotta,
And cemetery board,
She
now
wants,
those is all good.
yes.
But one of them has been marked out and says, open, oh, that's the one you filled, correct?
Let me see there.
I don't quite
Pete
understand
Creed,
this.
Marcia Carroll.
Yeah, those are three we appointed.
Cindy Lacefield.
Cindy Lacefield and,
All right, so that one evidently is filled.
yes, and I don't know that we have a limited number, how many can be on this board or not. I haven't seen Randy Wright, and have any contact with him, but he's up to 2022, and the other Kim Shorter's to 2024, so really just have those three we already appointed them, so
Okay.
that's done. Library board is Lisa Reichman, needs to be reappointed,
And I'll make a motion, we reappoint
okay,
Lisa here, put her on there.
okay,
And I'll second that.
all in favor say aye,
Aye.
okay.
Now with that, I think that's,
So then our appointments as listed on the sheet will remain the same with the exceptions of the health board and library board, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And we'll find out then about the other ones we're talking about.
So we need
and then we got
a
a
motion to leave everything the same as it is, that,
with the exception of the tax board.
yes,
and Rick Thompson on the,
Ben Thompson,
Plan.
to see if we can find somebody to replace it.
So you're replacing Thompson and,
Well, I'll try to.
Yeah, but we-
Cassie asked me about it a while back if we could,
Okay.
and I forgot to start looking to find someone,
But we
but
can,
she said he hadn't been to a meeting, well, since
so
last.
Hey.
I just wanted to get your motion, I didn't.
but we
Dan?
do need to say that we're not continuing him, though, we do need to make that a motion.
Did we want to go ahead and appoint 2 alternates too? Because you only have 1 alternate right now, and we could kind of talked about
Yes,
making
we
more
did.
alternates.
Yes,
So I-
because a lot of times there isn't enough there for a meeting,
So-
that's a great problem, but I understand people's work, and you get somebody to volunteer to do something, they only do what they can do.
So it looked like Steve Stewart or Warren Brown could also serve as alternates on the zoning board potentially.
Which we'd have to talk to them.
Right, you would, but then we wouldn't have the quorum issue we have on that board
Yes.
sometimes. That is just something that came up at our meeting that I
Yes, you
remember.
are correct.
Yep.
So that might be something.
So on this, what Dan was just talking about is really, just make sure that we're continuing all these, but we're not continuing Rick Thompson. That'll be a vacant seat, so the Rick Thompson seat will be vacant moving forward.
And we will not, well, Jim will get with you, he's gonna talk to Patty McLean and make sure she's still willing to do that. Everyone else, I think,
Shoot, I know that
Just
10 minutes ago, I could have called the office.
property tax assessment board will,
Yeah, and that exception in the motion to the tax board will not be included in this either.
until Katie gives us information for the next meeting.
So let me make this as simple as we can. I know we're confusing here. So we're going to approve things as they are with the exception of, the seat now held by Rick Thompson will not be filled. The tax board, I'm trying to see where that
The
is.
third page, the last page, the Peterborough board.
The Property Tax Assessment Board of Appeals will not be included in this motion. Everything else will be. Even Patty, if she decides she doesn't want to, we can replace her
We'll do
later on.
And then as far as what you was talking about, Nate, well, I'll let you finish here, so.
So in this motion to approve these as they are, those exceptions, Rick Thompson will not be going forward, and we will not be making any decisions yet on the Property Tax Assessment Board until we hear from Tweedy.
And I'll second that.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I think we get that position filled, I think all we have to do, our board just has to talk to them, and
Yeah.
as far as the alternates, that shouldn't have anything to do with us.
Just,
You guys have to sign off on them to be able to be alternates.
Okay.
But just to formalize it in your minutes.
on the minutes, we approved it as it is, but no, we made some changes there. We changed Mary Pierce to,
Mary Pierce.
Mary Pierce is no longer on the board. She's being replaced by, Stephanie Laws.
Stephanie Laws.
But she can't be in it.
But she's the attorney, right?
But she can volunteer as the attorney, she's just not on the board
Yes, but she
anymore.
won't be voting.
What was the other, was there another we voted on too?
Yeah, there was.
Lisa Reichman.
Yes.
At least
Right.
Riceman, yes, at least Riceman will not report, okay. Okay, Jess, you got all that?
I got it.
Read her back to me, will you? I'm lost. All right, that was more
Okay, now,
complicated.
do you need that document signed for Lisa
Yes.
Weitzman?
And then there's a form.
I had one before mine, you want me to use yours, you got one?
Right here.
Okay.
Yeah, so that completes send back to the library board.
All of it, they call it, all of it,
No.
no,
Just signature and print name, I think.
all right. Sixth day of December. All right. Okay. Getting impatient yet, Randy? Hang on there.
We're gonna make you make up for the last 2 meetings you missed. You're now staying twice as long.
Had a
All right.
Candy board in front, bowl in front of you. He'll be fine.
I buried my agenda. But I've got it somewhere. It's easier if you don't mind.
Oh, you want to-
Oh, yeah. So now we have schedules.
Dates,
Yeah.
holidays.
Well, we already did that. We already
Yes.
approved that.
But
Yes.
she was wanting to wonder, and then Columbus Day to be during the Village Festival, the first Monday of the Village Festival.
Start over, I couldn't hear.
She was wondering if you wanted to amend the Columbus Day.
Yes, we do. We always do that.
Yes.
So I make a motion that we celebrate Columbus Day the first Monday of the Covered Bridge Festival.
And I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We missed that, sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Then, whole law firm letter.
Claims, we had done that one, did we? The,
You have them up there on the claims.
Oh, okay. It's not on my list, but I got it here. Yes, we did. And we already did that one, no, claims, I'm talking about the holiday schedule. Okay,
These
claims
are
we
two.
have, yep.
I think you did the commissioners, but we changed the July 5th meeting to be in red, like you asked.
Okay, good.
okay, that was the only thing that was.
Okay. And then the payroll schedule. Yep, so we need to approve both of those. So we have before us the 2022 claims due in office schedule, and when the date the claims be paid, I make a motion we approve that.
And I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then on the commission's payroll schedule, with the highlighted ones there, 7/1/22, I make a motion we approve the 2022 payroll schedule as presented.
And I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, then we have the commissioner's meeting schedule. And we have 3 Tuesdays on that. Those would be July 5th, September 6th, and January 18th. I make a motion that we approve the Board of Commissioners meeting schedule as proposed.
I'll I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Alright,
Okay. All right, and then we have the letter here from the whole law firm. And this is in error. We are being accused by this man, kind of accused, but accused of using a picture he owned for a website that is not anything associated with Parke County or the Convention Visitors Commission at all. It was an individual who started that webpage. I don't think it's been active since 2017 is what I found out, and it's no longer up and active, but it is not anything to do with Parke County government whatsoever. Rick asked me, wanted him to notify him, and I said no, he was just fishing here anyway, but if you prefer that Nick wrote him a letter and said it's not ours, we can do that.
No.
You okay with just letting it go and see if we can
Yeah,
fix it
I
up?
mean, if they file something, I can always file a motion to dismiss and ask for them to pay me to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Damages, accused of something we didn't do.
Kind of like what he said in his letter to us that we can get attorney fees. But
I included these, the letter here from the volunteer fire department to Cindy. We will bring those up at our ARPA meeting. That's just a request from them for some ARPA dollars. And the DNR letter. What is that? Oh, here.
that's the DNR on the,
Oh, it's just telling us to appoint someone to the
Yeah, well, that's
office over here. We already have, so we're okay
already
with
done
that.
that.
Yep.
Phil.
That is done.
This is what we talked about last meeting about the joint with the council having taken out the comp time.
I had a question today from Justin about the comp time. I told him my understanding was, because he had someone ask him if they would be allowed to carry some comp time, used as they wanted, 40 hours or so. My understanding is that as we anticipated paying off all comp time at a designated date, is that the way we plan to do that?
I don't even remember now.
I don't remember that discussion.
Well, we had discussed people building up so much comp time.
Right.
By the time they retired, it would become an issue.
Well, and amending
We
the
couldn't afford to do
handbook,
it.
Yes.
but we
Oh,
didn't
so-
amend the handbook
We haven't.
yet.
We have not yet, no.
No.
We didn't, that's what his question was. So my understanding of what we intended to do, nothing changed yet. We intended to have a date, probably twice a year, that we would catch up with comp time, pay all the comp time off, and start at zero again. His question was, would they be allowed to carry some number, like 40 hours, which would mean they could take a week whenever they wanted to take a week off.
So that's how I had it drafted tentatively. I don't remember how many it was off the top of my head, but
So you had a number in there to
you
carry
remember I
some.
had circulated that to you
Okay.
7 or 8 months ago, maybe, or so.
I don't remember that. I remember that we had the discussion, so we probably just won't do anything yet. We haven't done anything yet.
Yeah.
But
I think it was like,
and we were okay with the number. I don't know what the number was, but
I can't remember.
we wanted to make sure these got knocked down to zero, or at least down to some number on a regular basis, so they couldn't accrue into the hundreds of hours and stuff. How many
Yeah.
hours comp time you got, Randy, built up over these last 100 years? Yeah, yeah. So we don't want to get to where we have to pay those off all at one time. We want to knock that down to zero, at least twice a year if we can. So I'll just tell Justin at this point we haven't done anything, so we don't know. So nothing's changed at this point.
No, you guys haven't passed anything. I know that for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
I know we talked some about things to include and not include, but
Okay. We need to bring that back up then after the first of the year and see what proposals you
Yeah,
have.
get it.
Get it codified and get it going.
I mean,
And we may not do anything next year with it, but we can pass.
but the
Yeah.
council, I think the council wanted us to do it so things didn't mushroom on us, start paying some of it down.
yeah.
So they could pay a little bit of it at a time so we didn't get in a bind, you get 2 or 3 people.
Well, and if you get current with it, the way I had it drawn up is that it would stay current because it had mandatory language in it. You had to use it by X amount of
Yes.
days
Right.
and things
Was
like
they
that.
actually wanting us to do something before the end of the year?
This is about using the money to pay these increases. Two of them highlighted there. committed to granting an extra $2,000 bonus to public safety employees.
Yeah,
And we already approved in the ARPA
yeah,
working group. And the other is the jail officers also to receive overtime compensation instead of comp time.
yes.
And so that we've agreed to, rather than doing comp time anymore with the jail officers and dispatchers, they would get paid overtime. So it says the Board of County Commissioners will have to codify this policy, so that's something you need to write up, or you want to write up then?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Has the council already done something to codify that also?
They had a resolution passed last month on this.
Is that what Roy would have forwarded me? I remember
Yes,
he was.
I can get you a
Would
copy
you?
and forward it to you.
Yeah, because those need to match each other.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. You bring something to us, we will take care of it.
Okay. Yeah, Laura, if you'd forward that to me, just so I can make sure they match each other.
Okay. All right.
And Justin already run on.
Justin left.
Do we have to do anything with this request for proposals for guaranteed energy savings contract? I don't know what that is.
I don't think I had anything like that in my, I don't think I did either. I overlooked it or skipped it.
I don't know what this is.
Are you looking at?
Request for proposal, guaranteed energy savings. This is 2021 stuff, so this is an old thing anyway.
That's from James.
So maybe they just got in my folder here accidentally or something?
That Rick Anderson was
Yeah.
guaranteed savings contract.
Alright, and.
This is what he passed out earlier?
What did he, no, he just gave us a
No,
folder.
he just gave us
Yeah,
a-
yeah. That wasn't, I don't know where that came from, it was in my stack here, out of my folder, so I don't know. So we'll just disregard that. Alright, Justin's gone, so I think Randy, we're finally to you, sorry to hold up. Sorry, Tom, see how long these things go.
Those checks each out. He sends us a text when you guys work out, just work it out. Link together and whatever.
Want to open the bids first thing?
That's fine with me,
Yeah.
that way Tom can get out of here.
Let me ask you something first. The new community crossings opens January 3rd and closes January 28th. So would you be available Wednesday morning for us to go through the list that we did last time? We had more than what we used, and we could probably go off of that most of the time without having to go out and see roads. And if you have a recommendation to add to it, we can do that, or
I think, we got all the ones that we went to this time.
I thought we had 25 or 30 mile road on there.
but I thought when we drove around, made our list, that we had more on the
We're
list.
taking in some of them.
Yeah, but I still don't think you're gonna cover everything we decided on, did you? Cause there were several of them, we
We
said,
got
we'll put.
Streets in Lodi, streets in Bloomingdale, or Bloomingdale.
Bridgeton.
Bridgeton,
Van Zant,
Van Zant, two sections of that, 900, or Fallen Rock Road one, and 900 South.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's the one we've already been awarded.
We're
Yeah.
talking about,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
talking about
but-
next year.
But we're saying,
Right.
we're
I
pretty
didn't
sure
think
we
I had
had more on
anything
that list than we,
I thought we had some that we looked at and we talked about, but they weren't high enough priority, we included in this last grant, we thought we would do them next time.
like the rest of Beedale Road,
We
Well, I
talked-
thought you said we was gonna get together before that, and
Well, that's what we're talking about
Do
doing,
that.
that's what we're doing, that's what we're
that's
talking
what we're
about.
saying, can we do that Wednesday and go ahead and, because this grant's gonna be,
oh, I thought you meant we'd already looked at it.
No,
Okay.
no. It's
Okay.
the ones we looked at before, when we went out and drove, we made a list of all the roads, and then we picked from there which ones we applied for last grant, we got those. So whatever's left over on our list, we can include this time.
yes.
So we're wondering if you're available Wednesday morning, that we can
Yeah.
go through that?
Yeah, I think so.
We ought to have enough, I think, off that list, we don't need to go out and find any more, is what we're getting at.
And then also,
Because
the bridge inventory list.
we need to get the the estimators in, because the first round closes January 28th. So we have to get that done here between January 3rd and January 28th. And
Are you sure we can
Yeah.
ask for another one?
She
absolutely.
has the paperwork in there,
Yeah,
yes. Jim
absolutely.
and I was in there and looked at it earlier.
We don't have to have this one complete?
Nope, it does not.
And a lot of people thought you did, because in the
It says
beginning you
it.
did, but not anymore. You
Okay.
have an outstanding one.
Now, then we're gonna be awarding bids the first of the year, or requesting bids, or quotes.
Right.
We're gonna have two of them due in 1 year then, right?
Have what?
We'll have to do two calls in 1 year.
They have to, yeah, have
We'll
two,
have to do-
they
do
have
it
two
in
calls
summer.
in 1 year, yeah. Yeah, 2 times the community crossings comes out.
But I mean, we're gonna have to have last year's done this spring, and then
If
one
we,
we get-
If we get
if we
awarded,
get
yes,
awarded, you could
They
have
could,
another.
yeah, say
Yeah.
they could turn around,
they'll
do
have
the
to be done
other
the same year.
late summer or fall, yes.
Yeah.
And according to the paperwork Cindy had, yes, you can't do that.
Yeah, too many counties are having trouble getting that done, that they weren't getting their work done, so they, in the beginning, were being told they couldn't apply for another grant until they got those finished, and that was putting them behind just because the contractors couldn't get there. So they took that out. So now, once that's been granted, as this one has, when we enter into those contracts, that'll have no impact on next year. So we go ahead and do 2022 in January, even though we still have outstanding with them. But that's done. That money's been granted. We're gonna sign those contracts, so we're
Yeah,
good to go.
I know that one.
Yeah, so we're good to go.
They just have to be granted in separate years, not
Granted in separate years, yes.
Yeah.
Up to $1 million
to
a
$1
year, yeah. Last year, we didn't do anything in January, we waited till the end, but we were fortunate, we got it, but we don't wanna get down that road again, we wanna do it first time, and then if we have anything left over, or
And
get
if we
denied.
get
we'll
rejected,
just
we can always
Yeah.
do it
But
the second
they-
time.
And she did say though, they asked for the bridge inventory.
Yes.
We've already turned that in.
Oh, you got that? Okay, good. She
Cindy
didn't know
must
that.
not have been aware.
Good.
Because she said she was needing.
Yeah, I think
We
that's
turned it-
always been in the requirements, hasn't it? The bridge
Yeah,
inventory's always
we
been in
turned it
every.
in last 2 years.
Okay,
We do it every year,
okay,
and we turn the road inventory in too, so.
okay, good.
It was all done in,
What time?
around the 20th of November, something like that.
Okay, great. What time Wednesday would work for you to meet with us?
7:30?
We gotta wait on Bruce.
Bruce has to be out, but he's gonna be at 11:30, so
Yeah,
you can do it before that, or you wanna do it after that?
He said he wanted to go home and check his calendar.
yeah, I gotta
He
go
would
check
call
my
us.
calendar, I don't remember what I have.
Okay.
I know I have an 11:30, but
He said he
Not
would
sure
send
what
us,
else I
send
have.
us a text and let us know.
well, go ahead and set it and I'll work around.
If you didn't have anything
I
before
wouldn't have it
11:30,
7:30, I wouldn't have anything at 7:30.
so you want 7:30, you want 8 o'clock, what do you want?
So,
Yeah.
7:30 is fine, if Randy's good for
Works for me.
7:30.
Works for me, 7:30 your office?
Okay.
That'll work,
Right,
let's
we'll
do
see
that.
you then.
7:30 in the morning,
Wednesday morning.
I mean Wednesday morning, yeah.
Cause
I
I
don't wanna
haven't
get to
set-
the dentist.
I wouldn't have anything scheduled for that early.
I know, city people, they sleep all morning, I know how. Lazy, no gas. Okay. Alrighty, so Wednesday morning at 7:30 in that Randy's office,
Yep.
we'll get this thing done, and we'll get it going again, see if we can get him again. Alright, Randy, sorry to hold you up, we did get that taken care of. I keep straining, scratching my leg, I tried now, I've had for about the last few months. I feel like a meth addict or something, my teeth are gonna fall out.
You wanna open the bids first thing?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay.
Nick, you got your knife?
Lunch nine.
Yeah, I got something at work unless somebody's got a knife.
Did you bring the bids?
Yeah.
Okay.
My keys, my
You got a
knife's in
knife,
my.
Randy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I knew he had a bigger weapon than what I got.
I got one in the truck.
Thank you.
Well, we found a huge stack of these sometimes.
Oh, jeez, Randy. Thank you.
Tom, what years were you superintendent here?
88 to 95. And a few years back.
We did get the Niceville Road opened up.
That's what I heard last week. But you're not, you still got some paving to do
Oh, yeah, we do
next
that.
spring once
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Mhm. The first bid is metal culverts.
I drove past Thompson's the other day after you guys got done, looked good.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good. Yep.
Culverts and bridge materials, St. Regis is this one.
There was concern expressed about that water that continually comes from his little pond there
I
over the
talked
road.
to Laird, and he said there's a pipe buried down there.
Yeah.
And somebody knocked the standpipe over or something. So when we get time, we'll, see if we can find it.
Great. Son of all thinks it's a failed septic system that's feeding into that
Now,
pond.
that spring's been there for years.
Okay, then you better use it.
That Tom probably remembers that spring. Yeah, Merrill Thompson.
Front of Merrill Thompson's house?
Yeah,
Remember he had that little pond out front
Yeah.
in spring?
yeah.
Little pond's still there, but it's running across the road all the time now. Was there a pipe that you remember down there someplace?
I don't
It's
remember.
only been 30 years.
Yeah, you should know that.
I do remember when we built like a wall across the road, like a berm across the road, for all the people going to
Beat
the
up, yeah, yeah.
We had to send everything down.
He used to call me all the time for that. People, we all just closed that road and people should be allowed to drive there during the Covered Bridge Festival. Yeah, right, remember, we're gonna close down that road.
Yeah. Throw this bit away, this is asphalt materials.
Yep.
It's all proper, isn't it?
Huh?
Yeah.
It's all proper, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah.
Sorry about the prices.
Well, I didn't look at that yet.
They're, well, they seem not to be that high.
Uh-huh.
We don't do any pre-ordering. I'm hoping they
No.
don't get that high.
What percent?
Remember, our base price for commodity emulsion, 80/90, $2.45. That's what we play it, plus probably 15 cents. The carriers are up too, freight's up 20%. Demerits, the carriers want $100 an hour for demerits, or $10.75. Indianapolis carriers are under 30.
This bid's from Pump Tires.
Out of value.
I think you were $1.90 this year, so we're up to $2.45.
Mm-hmm.
You mean the demurrage on the semis, on the
Yeah,
trucks?
they get, once they deliver a load, you
Yeah.
get 90 minutes to get him unloaded.
Yeah.
And if he's held on the site for more than 90 minutes, he starts his clock.
I'll be.
And then they bill us. And normally, we turn around and bill the county, bill the customer.
Sure you would, yeah.
We're always, we try to look at circumstances, try to help them plan better on ordering the load and stuff before we start charging them.
So the truck sits there half a day waiting to get unloaded, what's the likely cost?
I mean, yeah, I mean, you gotta pay that driver.
Bridge.
I mean, how much is the likely cost for sitting there half a day?
Well, it'd be $100 an hour.
$100 an hour, okay.
After you get
Wow.
an hour and a half free, so it's $100.
Wow,
And believe me, I hate paying that.
I bet.
There's some counties that are really bad about it, just because they don't plan very well.
Yeah,
You know, they'll order the loads an hour apart,
yeah.
and they really know they can't get one unloaded. They got a big 3,000 gallon refrigerator truck. They need to space them out. Or we can drop trailers. We'll come up and drop a trailer, and then the next truck, drop his trailer, and he picks up the empty truck. So you're just, and when you do that, you don't never have the marriage.
Right.
But
Civil
you do
con
have one
design
by
supply
road.
bill.
Right.
You gotta pick one.
One
in.
deadhead back, yeah. Yep.
So that's, that's 2 hours at the end of this.
Yeah.
To pick up the last one.
Yeah.
Bid bond.
Jess, before you run off, if you have time, I got something to ask you. If you got time.
Yeah.
I don't want to take any more of your time. You've been there a long time the way
No,
you do.
it's fine. I've got something to ask you guys too.
Okay. Yeah, Dan didn't
No
talk
comment.
about it. Man, it's just going on. So what are you going up north? What are you gonna be doing all winter?
We got some
E&H
trees
Bridge
cut
Road.
today. That's what we done on last winter.
Wow.
Keep everybody busy. Cut 305 danger trees last winter.
They did. Okay.
Over hanging over the highway.
I didn't think they had a bond for a minute because they didn't check mark the part. They didn't mark the part where it said bond included, but they did have a bond included.
Beautification
They were fine with them in there.
up Lake County, over Plymouth, Indiana.
No, they really wanted us to.
They don't know.
North Indy, Rockville,
That's what we get. Just made up in one meeting and get it in.
It's getting so hard to find help anymore. You're better off if you keep busy all you can.
No, I'm sure that's true.
You got one guy that wants to work all the time. You know, block it every time you got something else that's done.
So, right, yeah.
That's worth them, I guess.
While you're doing that, Nick, I just want to ask you, have you seen any change in drug activity in the county, up or down, like it always has been? What do you think?
I'd say it's just kind of changed a little bit, ongoing change on what they're using more than anything else. Is like an increase in like opiates and fentanyl and things like that, more so than
Are we getting fentanyl here?
a little bit. Not a lot, thankfully, but we've had a couple things fentanyl wise. Yeah. Usually it's something else laced with fentanyl, which is like
Yeah, who knows what. Yeah.
terrible because they don't know it sometimes, or whoever it's passed along to
Look
doesn't
at
know
that
it.
stuff with kids in school. I can understand somebody trying to sell their guy and don't prove us. If you understand they're trying to make money, what I don't understand is you're taking this stuff from this guy you don't know and you're putting that in your body. That's what I don't know. How do you do that?
We had one where they took it from somebody they didn't know, sold it to a kid. The kid took it and gave it to somebody else
Yeah.
that didn't know what was in it and thought it was one thing, it was
Yeah.
another thing, and
That's
it's
what
just.
I don't understand. I understand trying to get high. I understand all that stuff.
But
Why you would take that from somebody you don't know and put that in there?
Trouble with a lot of these drugs nowadays is they're hooked on them. I mean, first time
First time
taking them,
use.
they're hooked on them.
Yeah.
I can't imagine putting some of that stuff in the body.
I was denied for so many years. I've talked about years. I've denied for that for 2 years. There wasn't a physical change.
yeah.
Rerouting the brain, right, immediately.
Well,
You can't unroute it.
well, then some of the drugs, like to get the desired level they want or effects they want, they have to take it like borderline to the point
You
of.
build up tolerance on
You know.
most of them anyway.
But honestly, I'd say our county's probably maybe a little better off on that than some of the surrounding counties, from what I've noticed.
And all the trucks running?
No, we've got, 2 down, got one, put a new engine in up in Lafayette, and the rod went out of it, it hit the computer, so we're waiting on the computer, don't know when we'll get that, so.
You don't have a bond on this one,
Okay.
at least not that I see. They are getting creative and ways to treat the addiction and things through the court systems. Like we have the drug court program here, and
Had that sometimes.
it's had some decent success rates in it, and some of the surrounding counties don't have that, and it seems like they have more of an issue with, at least meth wise. That, and there are a lot more treatment facilities locally than there used to be.
We went up with a cemetery, a bunch of us up north of Belmont. 1800 cemetery. There are 6 stones there. It's right on down the road from Mount Moriah. It's out in the middle of Stuart Mavis Field. Nobody even knew it was there. Just one guy was aware of it. He wrote our attention to I'm not for it. So once he got away, we went up to take care of it. All the new folks that we appointed were there. We'll go back now. We officially on the book there were 6 hearings. One of the guys there does the witching on these things. He's done it a long time. He found 27 of those hearings, and they're all lined up and swipe like they were there. So I have done the witching before, and I tried it that day. Used his wires, and they moved on me. If you've never done that, it's one of the things you just don't believe actually occurs. And science says it doesn't happen, but
Yeah, it does.
I'm the one holding them, and I'm walking, and they're turning, and I'm not doing the thing to them. You know, I was like, oh, this is just weird here. But he found 27, so I went back and put some 2x2 2-foot long stakes in the side. And Stuart's been really good. Just let us do whatever we want to do with that. You don't want to make a notice of the road. So all those people that settled this place and built this place, we take it for granted, you know. But we need to be first in respect. So we put one back up. We got one more to stand up. We didn't have a socket for it, so we'll stand it. Socket's a concrete block to sit down below ground level with a slot in it for the stone to sit and then mortar in place and bury that stone in. So we'll get that one done. And I didn't know that these old cemeteries have headstones and footstones. At the foot of each grave is a little, it's about 6 to 10 inches wide, about that thick, and about 18 inches long or so. And all it has on it is just the initials of it buried there. So there'll be a headstone with the person's name, and there'll be a footstone with the initial on one end is all. So we found about 3 more of those. Found an infant, one that's got marking on it that's too worn to read. But we'll sand it back up too and go back up in the weather usable again. They're all over. There are 194, 198 known cemeteries in the county. You know how many of those family plots there are around here. Back in those days, you just buried family on the place somewhere and life went on. You're doing good, Nick. Good.
Starting to get the hang of this whole thing. 10 more years and I'll be able to open them like not even using a knife probably. I don't see a bond there unless you see one. Oh, yeah. There you go. One of these years, maybe I'll even bring my knife on the right day.
I've always got one, any day of the week.
I occasionally go through metal detectors and
No, I
don't.
lost one older than that one. up in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Of course, the courthouses nowadays usually just used to say take it back to your car or whatever. Now they say, I'll hold that for you if you want me to.
Uh-huh.
You know, they did that today in Montgomery County.
Up there, the government office, they wouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
I just lost that one.
I hide it in a bush, but then I always forget to pick them up.
I thought about that, but then they had cameras out there. I thought, well, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
And they had the park about 20 blocks away at the library.
I don't know. I'd be able to hand that to you.
Just trash there.
Yeah.
Well, I'll look at these this week, and I'll have you recommendation your next meeting.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, guys. Good to
Thank
see you,
you,
Tom.
Tom.
Yeah, good to see you.
All right, anything else?
Quite a bit.
Okay, what you got?
I've got a list of equipment that is mainly all broke and
You wanna get rid of
kind
it?
of beyond repair,
Okay,
because our lot's getting full.
okay.
I'd like to take sealed bids on them. I'm not ready to quite advertise them yet, but
Okay.
I'll get somebody to,
Did you need one, Nick?
Maybe I might want to buy something.
Yeah.
I'll,
Randy sells it.
I'll get somebody to give me a estimate on about what things are worth. Then we can ask for sealed bids.
Okay.
I don't want to just give it away, but
Do you guys have a issue with that, or are you okay to approve that, Randy, to? Or
So
you wanna
you're
think about it?
saying you're wanting somebody to give you an estimate on
just tell me what kind of price I could put on them,
them, and then you'll
You know,
open them up for sealed bid?
yeah,
That way you'll know what your minimum bid
yes,
is.
uh-huh.
I mean, who you recommended? Anybody,
Mecca Junkyard.
Mecca?
So that little boy trailer that's frame's rusted, is it rusted to make a week and bad enough? that
I'm
it's a
afraid
week?
of it.
Okay,
We had it patched in one spot,
okay.
and I've been worried about it ever since we've done it.
Yeah.
And now we got our other trailer now, so.
Okay.
Is this a detachable, then you bought the other detachable to
Yeah.
replace it? I thought I
Mhm.
remembered you saying.
It's a lot shorter one than what we got.
Oh, this one is short?
Yeah.
That 2007 dump truck it runs, is it run workable run?
The dump truck,
2007 International,
um,
number 9
Number
there.
31,
the bed shot on it, and it'll run, but it loses power.
Okay,
is it the Maxi Force engine?
Yeah, I think it is. Yes.
I was gonna say, that's borderline right there around 07, 08,
Mhm.
and they've had a lot of issues with them engines.
so what do you want from us, anything from us you need, and just,
Just approval.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't see a problem getting Mecca there and then have them to give you an estimate
Yeah, I
on what
don't
you
think
think, what you think you should set your minimum bid at. Run the ad to paper and put them up for bid, and I guess anything you don't get a bid, we'll end up going to Mecca, and you'll
Yeah.
know at least what it would be worth scrap
Mhm.
price.
So is that your motion to authorize
Yeah.
Randy to seek values on these and then
And
send them
then-
to seal bid?
Yes.
Yep, I'll second that.
All fair say aye.
Aye.
Okay, you got it.
Oh, thank you. Our screen that we've got down there at Parke County Aggregates,
Mhm. Are we moved over?
well, it's down there, but
Okay.
we've not done anything.
Okay,
They're kinda wanting to buy it, I think,
really?
yeah.
Can we work out an agreement of, take it and clean gravel or something, or what do you wanna do?
Well, that's what I was kinda wondering. If they could screen us some gravel.
What, is there no hope for our pit?
No, it's pretty much done for. We're just almost back to the old dump.
Jessica, what we're talking about is, We have a gravel pit in Montezuma, but we've used all the good gravel out of it. The rest of it's too sandy, too fine. So we had an agreement with, I guess it was Ron's then, or was it always,
Todd?
Todd,
Crane.
yeah,
Crane.
Todd only we have talked to, with Todd Crane to move over and they gravel out of his, work out a deal where we would screen our own. But now we're talking about is they're interested in buying our equipment, and that's not doing that anymore. So that's what we're talking about, in case you wonder what we mean by screen. It's a screen, you dump gravel out of a dump loader in, and then let it get the good stuff out.
So how is this going to affect us? Right now, we just go use it for ourselves, right, when we need gravel.
We don't use it
We
at all.
haven't used anything out there for,
Long time.
It's sitting down there, but you're not using it.
Ever since we started using Durburn.
yeah.
Because we
What,
put the
2
other,
years?
the other steps that had too many fines in it. People thought it was mud, it wasn't mud, but they thought it was, and it was just too fine.
I guess my next question is, we had talked at one time about trying to acquire some more ground. What do we, are we going to do that, so we've got our own gravel, or are we gonna continue doing what we're doing, or are we gonna just keep the gravel pit, are we gonna sell it? I mean, we got
Well, we got a lot of things stored down.
Yeah, the gravel pit's useful.
I don't really wanna get rid of the pit,
Okay.
but it's just for stockpiling purposes only, you know,
Okay, is there anything available?
to purchase.
Yeah.
Even we bought back farther east, it's gonna be the same stuff we already have. The good stuff was on 36th side of the pit, and we worked away from that, the way I understand it, that's where we are. So we can still buy.
I don't know about that.
So we can still buy behind, we could buy east of there.
Oh, shoot, what's his name? Kelts? Owns that.
Who owns it?
I think it's
Kenny Celts? Or just the Celts?
just a Celt.
Okay.
One Kenny.
Okay.
I think that's his last name. I talked to him a few years ago, and he said, yeah, he might think about selling it, but he says it's going to cost you an arm and a leg to do it. So.
But if you do that, then you got all the mining requirements you gotta go through.
Yeah.
You gotta have somebody down there to do that, you gotta have the equipment going.
Frankly, this Duraburn is,
Working
to
out.
my notions, worked wonders.
Yeah. And the controversy really has calmed down over that. I think people realize it's not the evil thing that they thought it was gonna be, and it's worked out okay, but we did our homework before we did that choice.
Yeah.
I don't know if you go Kenny Canfield, I was up at RC and Kenny Canfield, do you know Kenny Canfield? He was turkey run grad, he was a couple years older than me, anyway, he was
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean,
real smart guy. He was a chemist kind of guy in
Yeah.
college and stuff when he got out. And so they were in RCN one morning, and they were talking about that because people had been telling him that it was acidic and it was making their cars rust, eating it up and stuff. And I said, no, it's not acidic. I said, anything, it's base. Not so much to be corrosive, but it's really high on the base level.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you mean it's not acidic at all? I said, no. He couldn't wait to get out of there. He wanted to go tell those guys. Talking about how bad it was. I said, no, it's not acidic at all. It's the other way, in fact, but not enough to be corrosive, so it's not hurting anybody's vehicle at all. Yeah. Turned out one guy that was having trouble with his clear coat coming off. It's because you were using Dawn soap on and washing it every day. You can't do that. He's power washing it every day.
Yeah.
He just ate his finish
Yeah.
off.
I was gonna say, if that's the case, my truck will have no
Oh yeah.
clear coat
It
on
won't
it at
fall
all.
apart. Mine's gonna fall apart. Oh, mine did fall apart though. You know, I can say that anymore.
Well, mine is too,
Yeah.
on the bed.
I'm sorry I interrupted. You probably had a chain of thought going there that I.
No, I was just curious, what, before we sold our equipment, I wanted to know what our long-term goal was, or are we getting out of the gravel business altogether, and
It's nice being out of it, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I understand.
You don't have the IMSHA.
Any fines we
Yeah.
got ever along the line was because of the mining thing. Somebody didn't have their hard hat on, or
Yeah.
they didn't have some proper piece of equipment had been maintained or correctly at some time. Or,
Didn't have a toilet in place.
yeah.
who would you get an estimate off of to figure out who that's worth? I can't imagine Becca knowing what.
No, well, I know what we get for it, and then we put a new engine in it, so a new John Deere engine, so.
The engine
Well,
part is talking about this big stand. It's got a screen across the top, and the engine just shakes it back and forth. So you put dirt on it, just shakes it back and forth, and the little pieces fall through, and you can either use the little pieces or you can use the big stuff, or whichever you're looking for.
Do you need me for anything? Is that okay if I
would
run
be-
down?
It would be pretty much what we gave for the machine, I think.
What do we give for it?
There was, I'll have to look to see for sure, but I think it,
Thanks, Nick.
35,000, I believe it was.
It really is, if you're using Durburn, to me, it really is a relief not having to do it.
Yeah, and I'm sure it is, and like I said, well, you can't find help, I just didn't wanna
Yeah.
sell something, put
Right.
ourselves in a bind.
Yeah, and then say,
5 years down the
5
road,
years you
say,
wanna
hey,
find it again, you know,
yes,
again,
we're,
yeah.
we're gonna have to,
But the gravel around, even though if we could afford to buy more land, the gravel's gonna be the same as the stuff we have now.
Mhm.
It used to have a good pocket, then it got worse and worse, so we got moved back from it. We've looked, but, and there's a dump, I'll do something with that dump someday, bury that stuff that's there and do that, so we probably oughta, like you ever have time when somebody's on a note of not doing something, but we'll have to start cleaning that up sometime, just to clean that area sometime.
I don't have no problem with it, I just wanna find out what a fair price is.
You want-
Instead of just shooting somebody a price, I really.
You wanna sell for it, or you wanna trade for a
No,
gravel?
I don't care which way he does, it doesn't make any difference if we get money and turn around and go the other way, that part don't bother me, I just wanna know. I mean, if it's like anything else, there's, a lot of things really gone up in price even.
My dream when we started the dream or whatever, my vision, I guess, and we talked about was once we get the dirt burn down, to at some point be able to go back with good clean gravel and put gravel on top so you don't have that even being an issue. But really the issue with the dirt burn's kinda gone away. I've not heard
Yes,
anything.
I don't, yeah,
So
I'm
we may
happy
not do
just
that.
having the dirt burn. So,
So
yeah, I'm gonna say, as far as I'm concerned, if you wanna get a good, fair price on it from,
Mhm.
and you can probably look in some of them magazines,
Oh,
I
yeah.
even get them at home, but I don't pay that much attention when I'm looking at them to the screens, it's just equipment.
No more than we buy from them. Well, if we get stone, we get it from them, or you go to Whiteland and get it, or wherever we go to get White Rock, where do we go?
They don't have White Rock.
They haul it in.
They have it,
but
they have
it's
Yeah.
That's
17 to
too-
20
That's why
dollars a
I'm
ton.
getting them, they
$20
haul it in all the
a ton,
time,
yeah.
so that's where I get them all mine, but
So I
we
go-
don't use it anyway. It's the only thing we'd ever get off them probably would be the
Correct.
services. Well, they do our mix too, they put
Mhm.
our mix there, so we'll have things to trade. So would you rather get a balance and then just work that off, or you want to pay cash and continue to pay for the cold
No,
mix that
just
we
see what
have?
kind of deal we can work out.
They bring the puck mill there and set up and do the
Yeah.
cold mix, so we get all that service from them too. So we'll have money spent there anyway,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter to me, like you, if we trade it just for write it off as you go, or give us
Mhm.
cash, we'll give you the cash back and we buy stuff. I don't see an advantage one way or the other. Bruce,
Yeah,
you see a reason to do one or the
whatever
other.
the best deal is you can get,
Mhm.
I have no problem with you trade or,
That might be the easiest way anyhow, cause
most of the time it is first money not spent,
Nothing
we have
exchange.
to
just going
advertise
in the-
something for
Yeah.
sale, so.
yes.
I'm fine with that. You wanna leave it? Better
Let's
not. You better bring it back to us, what
Yeah.
price you agree to.
Yeah, let's
I
leave
start
it.
hesitantly, but you decide, you better bring it back.
Well, I'll
That'd be
just see
the
what
best.
we can get worked out.
Cause that may put
Yeah, we'll put
an
pressure
issue
on
on
you.
you.
But I just need to know if you'd be interested in it.
Yep.
or
Yeah.
not.
Yep.
Okay, Bridge 32,
Which one's
Did-
that?
Huh.
Which one's that?
Bridgeton.
Oh, Bridgeton.
Did
okay.
Dan bring that up last
Yeah,
meeting?
I talked to him, but
Okay,
I didn't know I had a number to it when we were talking about it. I know what you're talking about.
yeah. If you wanna go ahead with it, we probably gonna have to pay, VS about $5,000 for a engineer's estimate, or engineer's report. And then,
Will the abutments be okay? Just have to replace the deck, or we have to
Oh,
replace
yeah.
the whole thing?
yeah, there's no.
Just the deck, okay,
Just the
good.
deck.
Okay,
deck and then extend it on
okay. On the
each
sides,
side
yeah.
for
Okay.
a sidewalk.
I think we should definitely look at that, exactly like
It's-
Dan talked about with the walkway across it.
Uh-huh.
That's good. Bruce, you okay with that?
Yes. I mean, it's 54 years old,
Yeah, time to go.
we gotta do something with it
Yeah.
Yeah.
eventually.
My
So-
question is, what do we do in the meantime? Where do people go? I guess they go through, I'm trying to think how you get around there. You have to go all the way around past Jeffrey's
Yeah.
Ford and around that
Yeah,
way, right?
that's- That would be,
Yeah.
I mean, that is what it is, but the thing of it is, you're a lot,
But
we're probably 2
then-
years out, aren't we?
Yeah, at least that.
Okay.
So we'll have to wait for the next call,
Yeah.
Okay.
have everything done, but then hopefully they'll,
So you just need approval to spend money to get the engineering
Yeah.
estimate? I'd make that motion that we approve the 5,000. Is 5,000 enough to approve?
well, they said 5,000. That's the fee for that.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd make a motion we approve the 5,000 to get the engineer's estimate of what the cost would be to replace Bridge 32.
And I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Alright.
Okay.
And then we'd have to, get, request for,
Additional?
no, request for, proposals.
Proposals, yeah.
For the preliminary engineering
Okay,
and all that, cause it's gonna have to be with federal aid, so.
right.
Yes,
Um,
and he was actually saying that he thought part of the,
ADA,
money from your part might be able to be used on it since
Mhm.
there's gonna be a walkway on it.
Yeah.
When they redo the deck.
okay, well, I'll get him, hold of him, tell him to go ahead and get a contract and
Okay,
bring it down and sign it.
it's been pretty easy so far. Is there anything difficult coming up or is that about it?
Well, I don't know. This thing, I think, if I've read it right, I think it just, we're gonna do a contract with NDOT for the community crossings.
Okay.
We've done that before,
Mhm.
but I think they need to know, need like an emotion where you're gonna be the one to sign it,
I've
cause
signed it past.
they need to put your name on the contract.
Okay.
Or if you're not gonna be here, then Dan needs to sign
Right,
it,
right.
cause
Yeah, we've done
his
that in the
name
past,
is on
haven't
the
we?
contract.
We've done that all of them before, haven't we? I
No,
was
that's the
thinking
first time I remember doing this.
that- Okay, I was thinking that I had was a
We-
signature on the other things too, so that's not a
I
problem.
just figured that'd be standard. The president, I think, would,
Thought it was,
I
yeah.
would thought would have been.
Well, they want, whoever signs it, they want that name to match who they put on the contract.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
If
So,
you wanna read that and see what you think, but I think that's kinda.
how soon do you need it?
Well, I was gonna say, you're gonna be gone the whole month of January,
Yes, I am.
so if
Yeah.
that's,
I kinda need a motion
Tonight.
and who's gonna sign it.
So when is this going to come about?
Well, I imagine pretty soon if you get this back into them, they'll get started on the
and
contract.
that's what I'm saying, if it's before the end of the year, Jim can sign it.
Yeah.
If it's gonna be January, you're gonna have to sign
Yeah.
it then, because Jim's gonna be gone the whole month of January.
So who do you want to put on the contract? Do you think you'll have it back before Jim leaves?
I can't answer that, I don't know.
I don't know why we couldn't put either.
Well, do they want,
They wanna put a specific name on the
Yeah.
contract.
Well, they got my name on it, so we can do that, and then we can pass a resolution that if I'm unavailable, Dan can sign my name on this contract. We can do that if they want that name signed. Cause there's no guarantee any of us would be here any given day to sign it.
I couldn't sign your name.
Yeah, you could, if we gave you authority to sign my name, I could do that. And then you initial it beside, that's what Nick will tell you.
I'm not very up to date on this electronic signing, you know.
Yeah, and I can do that
We've done
anywhere.
that.
Yeah. See, that's what I thought I always
If you-
did. I can do it
If you're
anywhere.
Somewhere,
I can do it anywhere. It's
You
called
just tell
DocuSign.
them.
It's called DocuSign. They send it. So
And
that's
you
what I
can
thought
do
we
that
always done in the
online,
past.
can't you?
Yeah, sure can. Yeah.
E-sign or, yeah.
DocuSign's what it's called, yeah. Yeah. So that's okay. We can just, so you need to pass a resolution then just saying that I would be the one to sign the NDOT contract.
yeah, or just so we got proof in the minutes.
Okay.
So I need to make a motion to allow Jim to sign that.
Yeah.
And that's the way that means? Do we-
Yeah,
do-
I don't know, I don't have to do anything, but it says for LPAs that have not submitted a DocuSign information previously, we need to do these things, but we have submitted the DocuSign information, because I have signed things through DocuSign before. NDOT's making the transition to DocuSign and request that you said no, yeah. And complete the attached signing authority information, returning it to us as soon as possible. So that would be this document here. And it's already filled out, it's got me signing it, it's got my
We
email,
sent that to them 7/2,
and it's got Dan also and Bruce also as being
but looks
signed.
like
on
maybe they
that.
didn't get it or something, but I don't know.
I think I just send that back because we've already done that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah, I don't.
it's got a filled out document here. It says, NDOT has made the transition to use DocuSign by all parties to electronically sign NDOT LPA contracts and local roads and bridge and matching grant agreements. And, in preparation for them, have this legal binding authority, then these things are on here, and and that's what I would just send that in.
Jamie sent that 7/2/21.
That's just weird. let's make a copy of this, and I'll take that home, and I'll get on the computer, if there's a site there, I can go and see if we're registered, if not, I can register us again, so. I'll take it home and do that tonight. So we don't really need, we've already
Yeah.
set that up. I know I signed,
So are we having a motion or not having a motion?
no, we don't need
No,
one, I
just
think it's
a
already
copy
done.
of it, I think it is done from the looks of it.
Is
No,
that-
modern technology, DocSigns kind of.
Oh, it's just weird, that you just click on it, now you're signing, you click on it.
Kathy does all that stuff, I don't mess with it, I hate it.
Let me, I don't mess with that.
I just
Computer,
need one of
one
them.
of them's Randy's.
That's the original. I will work on that when I get home, and I'll go to that site and make sure that,
Original is a blue one.
okay. Ah, and it says just choose DocuSign, instructions, and, yeah. Worry about it, I just already got them, so I'll check it and see.
Okay,
It's weird that they have to have a name on it, that's just weird to me, cause I'm not personally obligated to it, so why would they want a name instead of a commissioner on there? So I don't know why there would be any difference between which commissioner signs
well,
that.
generally everything goes to the president, the commissioner, and
Yeah, but I don't know why their personal name, why would it just wouldn't be the, yeah, interesting. Lawyers,
Yeah.
I can say that next time, I can say it again, I would have said it here anyway, but it's okay.
got,
Geez, are you done yet?
not quite, this is the last one.
Okay.
Truck bids.
Okay,
I'm trying to get a new truck.
okay,
One car here for this year, but, they say they're probably not, wouldn't take delivery till not January or February next year.
okay,
So, still like go ahead with it, get her on the list, and get
Okay.
ready to go, so we can get one.
what do you need from us?
Need your signatures, well, your approval, but first,
You're seeking bids, is that what you're getting
Yes.
approval for here?
Okay.
How many trucks, just one?
Yeah, one, dump truck, tandem.
Now I'd make the motion, we,
Council aware of it, or you got the money?
I've got the money in the budget.
Good.
I make the motion, we,
$250,000.
we approve, Randy to, go ahead and seek bids on the new dump truck.
And I'll second that.
All fair say aye.
Hi.
Okay.
I saw 3 Vermillion County trucks go through town today.
Yeah, they've been going through quite
They were
often.
Heading east, so I don't know if they were going to get gravel or
I think
going.
they're getting White Rock, I believe.
Okay. Laura has to sign all of those.
Oh, Laura needs it?
Yes,
I didn't
that's
pay
for both of
attention,
them.
sorry
Shouldn't,
about
shouldn't
that.
keep one of them, and just, you need one back. I think that's all I have.
We got plenty of time left, no problem.
No, that was it.
6 o'clock, we haven't had a 6 o'clock meeting for a long time. I think we can take next month off.
We can skip this one.
Yeah, that's right, you bring that back up.
Is that everything?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's all we have. Unless you have any public comment?
You didn't happen to get a hold of with the
What's her
road
name?
problem? Yeah.
No, I haven't yet.
Okay. You haven't had time, or they didn't answer?
I
your
didn't
phone?
have time.
Okay, that's fine, I just didn't know.
I make motion we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Adjourn.